working. I think. Happy Friday, everyone. If you can hear me out there.
I hope they can. I don't think you're live just yet.
I think you're right.
Yeah, now you're live.
Now we're live?
Yeah.
All right. What's happening?
I don't think you're live just yet.
That's your voice saying that. But we are live past Jay.
Yes. And I see the topic is you pick the topic. Oh goodness. And
Wait, what's the
discounting
topic?
watches. You said you pick the topic. Like is in like I'm guessing the chat. You pick the topic.
Oh, no, I need to change that. I think it's using an
Oh.
old.
Yeah, because it says you pick the topics plus is discounting back in watches. Happy Friday, Thomas Burnett. Hope you're doing well. We're just getting the wings up, oiling the tank, and getting ready for liftoff. Please keep
Yeah.
all hands and arms inside of the vehicle before we start moving. I'll make sure all
Hope
bags are
every.
secured.
What's going on? Hope everyone is having a great Friday.
It's just me and Thomas for now. So yes,
Okay,
Thomas.
great.
I'm
Let me
hoping
figure.
Thomas has a good Friday. Um, CQ is currently doing we're showing you a little bit behind the curtains. CQ is gonna fix the title of the show. I don't know if you can once it's live, can you?
Yes, you can. I'm doing it right now, baby.
Oh, pardon me. Never. Wow, I'm having a brain fart today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna wake up. Trust in CQ. That's all I meant to say. Trust in CQ. He will lead you to the promised land. I'm trying to get this bigger.
All right. Think. All right.
There we go. There we go.
Beautiful. Okay, the stream has changed. What's going on, Skylar Santana? And let's tell the people all over the world that we are now live. I hope everybody's having just an amazing Friday out there. Beautiful Friday here in Central Florida. The rain has not started yet, but it will, I'm sure. Did it rain yesterday? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been raining every day. That's Florida.
It is Florida and it is summer. So today we're just gonna do some watch shopping. I'm gonna try to sell Jay a watch today, man. I think Jay needs to buy a watch. So we're gonna try to sell Jay a watch today. And whatever. It's a little bit of a freestyle Friday. Let's see what's on the web. We haven't looked at the new watches in a little bit.
Freestyle Friday. Those were the good old days, man. Bring it back.
The best deals on the web. All right. Now the people of Instagram know where to find us. But the people who really matter, which is everybody, but you guys most important, who always show up.
I was
Let's
trying to
start the
figure out how
day.
you were gonna like back out of that.
I don't know, cause all people matter, okay?
The
All
people
like
that really matter, which is everybody.
listen. I'm just saying, like when the merch starts to get printed, right? When the trips start, when we start getting some sponsorship trips and stuff like that, there's certain people that gotta get supported, and it's gonna be, the Thomas Burnetts of the world, the
Mm.
Skylar Santanas, the Chap Visions. How could we have something in Indiana and not have Chap Vision sponsored? But we gotta check in with him. And if we go to Germany, the German guard of Gottlieb and Co is very strong. So we got a lot of people we gotta take care of. Hope everybody's having an amazing Friday. Thomas Burnett, I have a topic for you. Pick 2, 3, or 4 watches for 30K. Only rules are they have to be new watches and they can't be Rolex or Omega. Ooh, define what you mean by new watches. Do you mean that everything we're buying we have to buy at retail? And I think we could do this today. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I think that depends on the definition of new watch for sure. Like, what does he mean by that? Like, is it a new release? Is it retail pricing
Yeah.
only?
Ooh, that's tough. Define your rules, Thomas Burnett, and I think we could take the challenge on. And you're gonna get again on Friday, 2 Fridays in a row. I think you might get producer of the day. I think so. Vimal's gonna come with some crazy topic. So, but so far, I think it's safe to say Thomas Bernett is ruling. But in the meantime, while the rules are being defined, let's check out some new arrivals over at European Watch Company. Wow, look, 16119 G's, 26.9. I dare say this is a buy. Let me put my phone on vibrate. You like this watch or not?
Yeah, it's
Say less, brother. Say less. So this is a beautiful watch. Does this not evoke any emotion out of you?
looks plain.
You don't like that brush style? You don't like that?
It looks
Okay.
plain.
Well, I mean, you got to take it off the shop. You got to take it off the black shop. But 26.9 for 2023, they'll probably take, 26 on the wire, 25.8. That's a good watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst watch. I'm not a fan of that narrow bezel or whatever that's called.
Hobnail.
Hobnail. There you go. There you go. What's going on, Goldfinger? How you doing today?
What's happening, Goldfinger? Hey, so we gotta go visit Goldfinger, man. I'm gonna tell you offline, but he's of the cloth. He's a brethren.
A man of the cloth.
Man of the cloth, man of the cloth. Look at Hoax, man. 18.9 for Hoax now. You remember when these were 30,000? Pepperidge Farm remembers. This was
Crazy.
2015. Now things are coming back down to reality. I like it. I like it. So Thomas Burnett says, buy at retail. So Thomas's challenge is pick 2, 3, or 4 watches for 30K. Okay, you gotta pick. Is it 2, 3, or 4, Thomas? Give me a little bit more parameters, and then me and Jay will put together collections, and then you can vote who put together the best collection.
Oh God.
I know. I don't know why I did this to us, but I think we could get.
My
through.
brain is not lifting.
So
Dude,
I win.
Once you set the
I
Rolex
win.
or Omega, I gotta find a good shoot or something, dude. Come on, Thomas. Why would you do this to me?
Well, it depends if it's 2, 3, or 4, right? So if it's 2, much easy.
I'm just going to Cartier or something like that.
Yeah.
Cartier is my real favorite brand.
I like this, bro. I'd rock this. If this was in quartz, am I being snobby? Should I care
Yes.
that this is quartz?
Yes, you're fucking being snobby. Mister, I want the Moser electronic one. What do you think that runs on? You think that's automatic, Sequan?
To be
Oh
honest
no,
with you,
it needs to be the cushion case with the Moser. You're being
to be
snobby.
honest with you, I would wear it dead because I just like the blacked out look. I don't need it to be on. I like this watch.
What's going on at Average Gabagool? Hair like what? Because I know you ain't talking to CQ.
Average gabagool. Welcome. I think that's the first
you go,
time
you get a gabagool this, you gabagool that.
I haven't had gabagool in a while.
Anything
either,
between
man.
2 and 4. The more you buy, the more points you get.
Oof. That's a good one. 2 and 4, we gotta say between 30. 2
Jeez.
and 4, we gotta say between
I'm
30.
not very good at practice. So like APs pretty much are out the window because they don't really have anything that's under 30 that's worth talking about.
Damn.
Patek
New
is
at
not
retail.
gone out of the window.
No Patek.
No Patek. I'm telling you, you're gonna force us into Glashütte. Let's see.
All right. I'm
No,
gonna take
I'm
this challenge
thinking
on.
like Brigade. There's probably something in Brigade that we can find.
No, it's gonna be too much.
It's gonna be over 30K. Well, even if
Because
it goes
this has to be a
steel.
good. Oh, wow. Okay, wait.
No, if it's not gold, if we don't have to buy gold, you can probably find a Brigade steel traditional or something along those lines. But you're right, like Vacheron, the brands that I would like want to look at. Go to Brigade and see if there's
I think Brigade like the cheapest watch is gonna be like
35, 40, you think?
no, but you're still gonna be in the teens or if not
Okay,
close to
IWC.
20.
IWC will have a couple. I feel like we
Ooh,
can
okay,
find some pilots
I like.
or something
Okay,
in IWC.
boom. I like what you're thinking. Jay's on a good path there. Maybe let's make this collection together. Let's not do it versus. Let's
I was about
combine.
to say, bro, like I'm not equipped to handle that. As Average Gabagool said, look at my hair. Do I look like I'm ready to handle the shopping spree?
Oh man.
Oh goodness.
All right. Okay. So we are taking on Thomas's challenge for a 2 to 4 watch collection.
You gotta go pilot for sure. Like you gotta start at the pilot. We gotta find a pilot because
Well,
What?
I was
Go ahead.
thinking I was thinking we could get the new. What's going on
No,
with the
Thomas,
internet?
don't make this easy. We gotta stick to
No,
our
let's see.
guns. We gotta stick
I
to our guns.
appreciate you, but we could get it done. We could
Don't
get it
don't
done.
don't don't give us a back door. Sequan will use that back door, bro. He's a back of house guy. He used to be in the back of house
Hey,
cooking up them pancakes.
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
See,
I whipped
already
up that.
I want that Miami one, man.
So to me, it's between these two, cause both are like special editions. I personally would suggest. Oh God, I almost spilled everything. I personally would suggest we go for the APXGP because
Yeah,
we're getting
that's
7,200. And honestly, this is one of the best deals they have right now. This is an in-house IWC movement. You're getting gold hands, gold colorings. It's a limited edition for the F1 movie that's about to come out. So when you put it on, you don't look like it, but you feel like Brad Pitt or Damson Idris, whichever one you resonate with more.
wait,
But
who was the
a
second
thing,
person?
Damson Idris, is that his
Who?
right name? Brad Pitt. You're gonna
Oh,
feel like Brad Pitt. You're gonna feel
who
like
the
Brad
guy
Pitt.
from Snowfall?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just was like got
Okay. So
confused.
all right. So we
I
agree on
think that
this
was a good.
one.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick.
All right.
Just
So
because the other one is not a daily wear. Like it's a little too.
all right.
Even if you put on a black strap, it's just not a daily wear. So I
All right.
think
So
we're gonna go.
APXGP
Yeah.
41 at 7,200.
Wow, we have a lot of money left. I like
There's a
this.
lot of money left. A lot of money left. So we need. I think we should. I think Glashute is a good one.
Average Gabagool asked on our thoughts on homage. I only wear homages.
I
Homage.
think
That's fashion.
what homage?
Yeah. Which is.
No, no. He means watches that look like other watches. They're
Oh.
paying homage.
Uh,
Yeah.
is it? Okay, I'm tripping. Don't mind me. Um, that's an interesting question.
If you love it, I love it.
I mean, is it all
You
watches
know.
homages at this?
Exactly. That's the thing. Is like. w-
But I do get what he's saying. Like there are some watches that are literally reiterations. Like when you get the Omegas, when they're like first in space. This one,
So So I don't mind a homage watch if it's truly like an the value makes sense. They're not trying to beat you over the head. They're doing at least something a little unique. Like I used to love Steinhardt watches, and they make a lot of homage watches, and they did a really nice Mare Nostrum in bronze, and I still today would probably buy that watch. And there's no
that
other
you went
bronze
to.
Mare Nostrum, you know.
You really went to Glashütte.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it with a Glashute. I like.
But real quick, the biggest homage watch is the Moser watch, isn't it? Isn't it that Frankenstein where they like pretty much stuck every single watch into that one Moser?
And
Like
nobody
that's the
wanted to
greatest of
sell
all
it.
time. Yeah.
What is it? Is it the Moser Icons?
Yeah, I think it's like the emoji. Isn't it like the Mojo Frankenstein? Some weird. It's like because it's literally like an AP, Omega, all of these things put together. Mr. Goat says subscribe and upvote. Thank you very much, Mr. Goat. Mr. Goat.
Yeah,
Yes, any
please subscribe, upvote.
upvotes? Yep,
Thank you
we
guys so much for
appreciate it.
coming in on a Friday.
Average Gabagool said like Pajani Design, San Martin. Oh, that's funny. We were literally talking about San Martin yesterday. Watch dives. So I mean, like, it's funny because what were the two watches we looked at yesterday? The Christopher Ward looked like Chapek, and the Christopher Ward was monumentally a lot less. Yeah, this is the watch. This is it. Like, it's like this is the biggest homage watch. Jesus.
Oh, which PRX do you want, Gabagoo? After we finish the Thomas challenge, we'll do it. But this is the biggest homage watch, and this is when like everybody didn't like Moser. This is when Moser was a little bit fiery, and everybody was poking. What they were poking fun at everybody else in the industry. So they wanted to take a piece of all of the icons. So you have the bezel from a Pepsi, you have the dial of a Nautilus mixed with the dial of a Luminor, you have a tourbillon bridge of a Girard Perregaux, pretty nice tourbillon there. You have a Panerai Luminor crown guard. And this watch does exist, and I have seen it. But when this watch was first made and produced, they were sued, I believe, or
Oh yeah.
strongly advised to pull this because they were going to auction it off. And all the brands did not like this. They thought it was not fun at all. But this is the ultimate homage watch.
Homage slash troll. That's for damn sure.
All right, so let's round out our 30 grand collection. I want to go shoot. You don't think we should do vintage? Okay,
Which no,
okay.
God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just, I had to try.
Well, I mean, I
I,
trust you, dude. If you think that, like, are we trying to build a watch collection that's going to be worth something in a few years, or are we just kind of like what we like to look at?
I'm just think like we only got like 23 left.
Yes, 23 left, and you're gonna buy a gold watch from Glashütte, or
Well, it has to be a retail. So Thomas has made it. I'm
don't
thinking too
I don't
crazy.
I don't think
I don't think we're in English
like I would
territory.
I would buy a Hublot before Glashütte, bro. I would buy a Hublot before Glashütte.
Get out of here.
Wait, what? You were literally just singing all the praises the other day about Hublot.
Well, well,
And,
I
and
love
like Bavaria taking the company to the next level, and now you're over here looking at Glashütte.
but over my brothers from Gashute? Come on.
I mean,
Boom,
this is a
12-7.
decent watch.
12-7, bro.
Okay, so 12/7. So now you only have 10K left. Like, okay, this is a nice watch. This is, you probably picked the one watch, but then 10K. So where are you going after this? After you
So-
buy
so-
this watch, where can you go for 10K
So,
and get a
so,
watch?
so this is the beauty. This is the beauty of a collection like this, right? So we got the APXGP, right? So that's sporty, slightly dressy, definitely casual, depending the type of straps you put on it. We can have a lot of fun with this watch, right? Then we have the Senator Excellence Panorama Date. It's a little bit more button up. It's a little bit more grown up, but we got that salmon dial. We're having a lot of fun here. So now we have two very versatile watches. Both watches we can take to work. One watch you can get very, very dressed up in with the glass shoot. So now all we need is something sporty, like maybe a diver. But so what do you think? 10 grand I think is a lot of money. What do you think?
Yeah. So you're thinking we have to get a diver?
We don't have
Like
to get a
not
diver.
have to get, but like you, and just I guess you go Panerai or something. Find a steel Panerai. You think we can find a Luminor under 10K retail? Probably not. It'd probably have to be a Due or some shit. I'm trying to think. Because we're not getting any good Cartiers under 10K. Like, I would have preferred us to go look at Cartier before we went to
Well,
Glashütte.
okay,
But
okay, maybe,
we,
maybe,
no,
maybe.
no. We've already,
All right.
the gavel has dropped. You cannot renege. So we have to see this through at 10K.
I feel like you could sneak in a Cartier if you wanted.
Where? That either of us could wear, or you're buying this for your female friend? Go to Cartier. Let's see. Because there's no Cartiers that are over 37 millimeters that are 10K.
Yeah, it might be quartz. Oof. Wait,
I don't have a problem, of course, but
okay, let's see.
you already we got an in-house IWC movement and the Glashütte's in-house movement, so
I'm just trying to find us good value. I think this is a pretty good collection so
and
far.
you put the Cartier on, you don't have to change the date or the time until the battery runs out or you leave the country. I think that's value. Knocking on the quartz. Just don't. Whatever you do, don't go to Ball and Blue. Ball and Blue is the worst watch that they make, and I think they make all great watches. I just hate their Ball and Blue. I just don't wear it.
Ooh, could you get a Santos
No.
dual time?
You're not getting no Santos for under 10K, bro. That is their best watch right now. Like besides the Crash, which is slightly unobtainium.
Oh wait, oh no. Him. Come on, horrible website.
They're trying your processor so hard right now.
Yeah. Oh look, see, boom. I know what I'm talking about, man. Santos to Cartier, large model, dual time, 9750. We are not taking tax into consideration at all.
Well, I mean, we're gonna ship to the Virgin Islands. It's tax free.
Exactly. You know what to do. What's up, Tam? Good to see you. Thank you for upvoting. Thank you all for tuning in so far. Happy Friday. Please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. It does the world for us, and it means the world to me. Let's have a great weekend. So I think this is a pretty decent collection. Our challenge from Thomas Bernett was 30 grand collection, 2 to 4 watches, 9750. We got a Cartier dual time large, Great Owl. We got a 12-7, and this is it on the gray shop, not the blue shop. We got the Senator Excellence Panorama Date Moon Phase Salmon Dial from Glashütte. And then at 7200, we're taking this Palace Watch chronograph from IWC APX GP41. I think that's a decent collection.
It's a decent collection. The problem is like we did pick the worst Cartier ever, but I'll take it. Like that was just not a pretty Santos. I don't think I've ever seen a Santos I didn't like until I saw that Cartier. Like the dual time did not. Like the small
So
the sub that but it makes sense that that watch is under 10K because it's like you got you got to make their that's a big incentive, dude. That small seconds at 6 or
wait,
whatever that.
wait. Do you like it or do you not like it?
No, I don't like it. I don't. I like
Really?
Cartier Santos.
This
I
thing
don't,
looks great. This thing in person, this is a bad picture. In person, I fell in love with this
I don't.
watch.
I don't like the dual time at 6. I just don't like it. And personally, Vimal said he did not get the notification, so you should try to schedule your streams ahead of time so that they can get the alert. He loves the Santos, and too bad they discounted the Burgundy dial. Chris DDDS
continue.
sub, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. Pack
Thanks for the sub, Chris.
hello, Pack. And Thomas agrees that we made a nice collection. Panel, no, check the same selection on Chrono to see how much you can save going gray.
Ooh, that's actually a good idea. See, I told you Vimal was gonna come for the Producer of the Day award. Thomas is leading because this was a great idea, but I told you Vimal would pop on.
But what does it mean by that? Sorry,
He means to go on. Okay, so we're buying all these watches at retail at 30,000. So
Yeah.
his challenge to us is go on Chrono 24 and see how much you could buy them if we pick them up on the secondary market.
my YouTube's delayed, so I'm still looking at the gray dial Cartier Santos, assuming that he's like, all right, gray, and he's talking about gray market. That makes more sense, way more sense.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't care about that. Let me pull up Chrono 24 though. And I will schedule a stream next time. We had some little issues.
But
with the
don't
tech.
forget to review Average Gabagool. He was interested in the men's PRX movement 80 automatic stainless steel. Turn on.
All right, let's,
What? That's a Tissot?
yeah, Tissot PRX.
They make turn on watches? I've never seen that. Like a turn on shape, I'm guessing?
No, maybe you might meet a Torno. I didn't read it. Where is it?
It's a men's PRX Powermatic 80 stainless steel tunnel watch. Blue dial is what he said.
I don't think it's to know.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's pull up the PRX collection. I own 2 PRXs. I love them. So it's a yes from me, dog.
Mr. Late Bloomer did ask any secondhand markets that deliver to India. I think Chrono 24 does, but it depends on the dealer's restrictions.
Yeah, and with DHL,
Oh, Average Gabagool said it's Tono. He said it's Tono.
I mean, technically, it probably would be like a to know shit. Technically. If you look at the top and you look at the end.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see why they would say that.
So just quick review of like the PRX. I wear 2 PRXs. They're what I wear the most. I do have Rolex, but I just have a lot of sentimental attachment to my PRXs. I've gotten more compliments on my PRX than any other watch I've worn, even borrowed from a company I worked with. Like, people love the PRX, they love to try them. Somebody saw mine, bought 30 for their employees. The Powermatic 80 movement from its inception many years ago is one of the most accurate movements you could get at the price point. And to this day, like, they're some of the most accurate watches I own. So I think for the price point, and you get most of these at a discount now, for the price point, you really can't beat a PRX. People every day, who hit me up for like, hey, I'm looking for a great watch. I want to be under 1,000. PRX is my only answer. I have no other answer beyond PRXs because when you feel them, they feel like great watches. Sapphire crystal, they're not cutting any corners for you because just how the Tissot model is within the Swatch group. And now you have a really good variety in what you can get dial-wise. I have a green dial, and then I have the silver dial with the rose gold bezel. But I'm gonna get a chronograph. I'll probably get a carbon pre-owned because $1,000 for Tissot, I just can't. But this even I'll buy just because they're great watches. Nobody's gonna
you'll get a
cut your hand
discount
for them.
if you go into a retail store on a Tissot, right? I'm not saying a large discount, but like at least 20%.
20%.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. 20 off. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's not really 1,000. It's a little closer to
Exactly. Well, somebody out there is
800.
gonna be like, well, it's carbon fiber, so you gotta pay up. Blah, 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 blah. So like, nah, no, we don't do that. But I think it's a great watch. All right, so let's quickly just look at
I
Chrono
think your Chrono
24.
24 checking out what the value of those watches are second hand. I
I can't believe you don't like this.
mean, I there's better ways to do dual time, and I just don't like the placement of it at six. I guess is the best way for me to explain myself.
All right, fair, fair. All right, let's see if you can. Do you have a model number? There we go. These just came out, so I'd be interested to see what they're on Chrono 24 for.
Oh, Chrono 24 changed this thing too.
Oh
Their
yeah,
logo. They really did a
yeah.
redesign.
Everything's different because with the new Chrono 24, we don't care about updating the fake listings like this one right in front of me, but we really wanna. I don't know. All right, so the retail on it is 7,200, and we're in the U.S., so let's do it the right way. Like if we'd help a client. So we're in the U.S. There's only one in the U.S., and I could pick it up for 6,100. So
So,
already there, I'm saving $1,000. And these watches just came out. This is a private seller, so being a cheap guy I am, I'm gonna hit him up at 5,700. Let me pay for the label, bro, and I probably get it. Right? So let's say we save $1,000 there. This is a great watch, by the way.
I think it's more than DEI. I think it's more they're being ageist at this point.
Yeah. Don't put DEI in that. So I hate that I do these rants, right? But like, so what's happening here when you see this? Don't look at like the DEI. Don't look at the youth. Don't look at like there's a bunch of different cultures. Once you see this type of filter, just know that somebody in the fashion world, in that marketing world, has just paid a lot of money, and this is their bag. You know what I mean? So they just apply the bag that they use to other fashion verticals to Chrono 24. But fashion, how you sell a suit, how you sell a hat, how you sell a shirt, much more different than how you sell a timepiece. And unfortunately, many people who make so much money should give a call to Gottlieb and Co. and let those folks figure out the situation for you. Because like, does this make you want to use Chrono 24 more? You tell me. I don't know.
Like, are they on the subway holding like
Yeah,
railing? Is that what it is?
yeah. So we're on a subway. We're holding watches together. I only have my watch on, but we're on a subway. We're holding watches together. Buying Chrono 24. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, hey, and Whole Milk, welcome to the chat. Congrats on Mackenzie and Co. for getting their back. Cause this is exactly, and like, shout out to the folks at Mackenzie, and I know a lot of people who work for them and other big companies.
What are
And
they?
like,
Advertising group?
no, they're a consultation company, but like one of the top. I'm probably not even explaining it right, but they're the company you hire to analyze everything, and all the Morgan Stanley reports is always done by a McKinsey person. But like, and now we're going on another tangent. But I just want to show you like this is just somebody in marketing receiving great money. Nothing about this commercial makes you want to use the Chrono 24 platform. Average Gabagool, thank you for the sub. We F with you too, brother. One day I hope to have some above average Gabagool with you. But like, so like don't label DEI. Don't like, 'cause a lot of people say that, oh, they're trying to be DEI, they're trying to be younger. No, this is just somebody cutting a check to a marketing company, and they're just using the thing that they do, and this is that thing. So don't, because I hate that. I hate that. Like, not here to defend DEI, but like, I hate that people put one thing with the other. This is just profit being made that we don't understand. That's all.
The Ghost of Yiddish Gambino says, "Has anyone bought a watch through True Facet? Found some pieces for a very low price and confused." He specifically said the 126618LN for 26,150, and then also a 126613LB naked for 11,900. So I know True Facet. I've never bought through them, but I have used them as like a
What was it? A
source to.
platform that
Yeah,
you
they
use?
are like a Joma shop. No, no, we didn't sell on True Facet. True Facet, I think they're like not private sale, but like they're a business, aren't they? True Facet.
I thought they were a broker. I'm not sure.
I
We'll
have
check them
not
out though.
bought one from them. I'll just to be honest, I'm not sure if CQ has either. 'Cause. 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 '
It's Friday, guys.
They
I don't
they
want. I
give
want to be
me they
nice. I
give
want to
me
be
Joma
nice.
Shop vibes, but then
So
they have
I don't
sold
really.
listings, so no.
I don't deal with platforms, guys. If you can see, like, I always look at dealers' websites. I don't really use, like, I use Watch Recon because it's an aggregator and like Chrono 24 or whatever. But there's always these new watch platforms that pop up, and they're just like different ways for dealers to sell watches. So I like when I see them pop up. I'm not sure even if that's what True Facet is, but when I see them pop up, I just kind of ignore them because it's just dealers using different. It's just like the WhatsApp groups, you know what I mean? It's just like, hey, this is a new place to buy watches. Feel like a wholesaler, and it's like, it's just different. It's just a different online storefront. So like, I like to work with the dealer or with the source or with the client. So that's why like when people talk about all those different new marketplaces, I'm always just like,
Gabagool did ask, would you ever buy a watch off of Reddit Watch Exchange for a deep discounted price? I probably wouldn't
I have,
personally. Or
I
you
have.
have off of
I've,
Reddit.
but a very inexpensive watch. And it's so funny because I have Reddit Watch Exchange pulled up here. But I have bought a watch off Reddit Watch Exchange. It was a very inexpensive watch, like $500. But I would, if it's not too expensive, if it's under $1,000, sure. Over that, I need references. I need to know you. I need to give me your LinkedIn or something like that, or it needs to be a dealer. There's just no need in this day and age to risk money.
Well, Andy,
You know,
I don't think we're talking about eBay. We were more so talking about like different because like eBay, Chrono 24, those are truly trusted sites. They're trying to do their due diligence, especially eBay. I'd say eBay more than Chrono 24, not knocking Chrono 24 because I literally worked on my company's like I worked for a company and all I did is sold on Chrono 24.
Chrono 24.
All I did. But I also sold on eBay and I do think that like they try their best for the consumer. Like I've seen them fight tooth and nail for the buyer. And like they do side with the buyer more than they side with the seller.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we've lost money just because we didn't respond to a case and they were like, "Oh, you didn't respond in time, so we just assumed that you were wrong." And they just gave the client the money and the watch. So I think that places like eBay, you're safe. Chrono 24, you're pretty much safe as long as like you do your due diligence on what watch you're buying on Chrono. Like make sure they have photos. Like if you're buying a ghost listing, good luck, brother.
Homo says true facet implies the existence of false facet.
I mean,
Um, that's funny. And we'll skip there, but just to clarify, yes, I mean newer platforms. Like every once in a while, there's like a new platform or new service that pops up, and I'm just always very hesitant because usually on the front or the tail end of it is just a dealer. And I love dealers who just tell me up front what's going on. And a lot of times things are cloaked. Now, of course, like in terms of auctions, Loop This, that's a great auction house that's supported by Eric Koo and the Grunbergs. And that's a really great platform. So there are good platforms, but I always like, it takes me a while to warm up. I'm that type of person. Like I gotta really hear a lot of good experiences before I start, looking at it on a daily. But just to wrap up the Vimal situation, so 9750 on this Santos Cartier. You can find it for 7600 from a private seller with the extra strap. So again, we're saving another couple $100 plus sales tax. That's a couple $1,000 plus sales tax going on the secondary market. This is a beautiful watch, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
bro, how much did that
But
watch call? I wasn't sneezing. That was me scoffing. What? How much do you think this watch costs without that function? I feel like it's more expensive. I feel like a blue dial stainless steel is more expensive than this. And am I tripping?
no, you're correct because this is like the movement. I think is a
Yeah,
lower grade
because it
movement.
doesn't look as good.
All right, we're gonna move on.
If you put up a blue dial, I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat would be like, "Yeah, CQ, we understand that you like dual time, but the blue dial, no dual time is prettier." Average Gabagool asks, "What was your first luxury watch? Do you have a cherry pop story to luxury watches?"
Like my first like luxury watch would have been a Rolex Daytona Zenith that I picked up before going to Dubai. But I've been in the career. Well, actually, I've had watches like on like wore for a little bit before I sold them. AP Royal Oak. I had a brick for a little while and things like that. But they weren't truly my watches. They're watches I bought to flip. For a long time, I didn't really have a watch. Right, I have like very little things, because honestly I get so much enjoyment from selling watches and just being immersed in watches. And when it was finally time for me to afford a watch, it was hard for me to pick a watch. It takes me a year to buy a watch, because like every day I'm like, oh, I could buy this, I could buy this, I could buy that. And then when you're blessed to work in places where I worked, where literally you could just dive into an ocean of inventory and try on all the coolest watches. And I'm a workaholic, so literally all day, every day, in the office working. You don't really have time to wear the watches. So for a long time, I didn't have it. So I don't have a cherry pop story in terms of me personally getting a watch, because by the time I started to buy watches, I was knee deep into it. But my story is the first time I saw somebody buy a Patek Philippe, and it was for around $40,000, and I was maybe 19 years old, maybe 20, and they were just, the emotion I saw on their face, their excitement, how happy they were. I just had to find out why, and I really saw somebody who was truly passionate about watches achieving one of his grail pieces, and that contagion just got into me. And from then, I just went on this amazing journey in horology. So that's my 5 seconds there.
Bro,
I'm gonna write a book one day, maybe. I don't know if you guys will buy it
you
already.
should have been wrote it.
Then I know it. All right, so let's get on the last piece. Let's see if we can find a salmon dial for cheaper. Boom. Ooh, 13. That's over retail. Oh, this is the one watch you can't get a discount on.
Ramal said to focus.
I can't. I can't.
It's Friday,
It's the
Ramal.
ADHD. It's
I'm already
Friday.
ready to crack open this whiskey. I actually want a buzz ball. I don't know if you guys drink buzz balls. Yeah, I'm
Oh
36 and
God.
I drink buzz balls, but I want a hazelnut
There we go.
latte buzz ball. Okay, back to focusing.
All right, focus, focus. I'm sorry, guys. Today has been meeting after meeting after
Wait,
meeting, but
what?
no matter what, we make it happen. Okay.
Whole Milk said, you heard it, folks. The shoot that original has a watch over retail.
We were incorrect. It's because the bracelet. That one person is just hoping. There's always that person on Chrono 24 who
But I will
hopes.
say on the bracelet, it does look a lot better. Not a lot better. I like it on the bracelet. It looks
Oh
nice on the
wow,
bracelet.
really? I wouldn't expect you to say that.
I'm not a real strap guy, dude. It, the bracelet for
All right.
this looks decent, but I mean, clearly we couldn't afford it if it came on the bracelet, so we're gonna stick with the strap. We're sticking with the strap.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not get distracted. 10.8 versus 12.7. So if you went retail, we're paying around 30,000. If you went pre-owned, you're probably saving yourself a good 5,000 if you add everything. If you add everything together. So I think obviously on these watches you go secondary. But if you said you're in a situation where you're building a journey to buy a Patek Philippe or Rolex or whatever smoke is being sold to you, I think these are three good watches that you could buy and not feel bad about continuing on your journey. And thank you,
Home,
Thomas, for the great topic.
yeah, that was a great topic. Gabagool says it's pretty cool. Whole Milk said you heard it. Oh, I'm reading backwards. Sorry. Avid Gabagool did say bracelet feels better on the wrist, and yeah, I do agree. Agree. Like it depends on the bracelet, though. It depends on the style of the bracelet. I think that the Glashütte bracelet is nice, though. They do
Yeah, they
make a
do a
nice
solid
bracelet.
bracelet. They do good watches. They don't get some love, but I'm gonna talk to them about the CQ partnership, and we're gonna figure out the legal things there. And I'm gonna make the shoot what it should be. Just remember I said it here first. Let's do a little bit of watch shopping. Unless somebody has another topic, let's go on Reddit and see if we can find some deals.
Nobody's selling you a Patek with IWC Cartier Go Journey. What does he mean by that? In the mall.
Nobody's telling you a Patek with IWC Cartier. Listen, I'm sure there is a multi-brand dealer that has all those brands. There used to be, maybe not anymore. But like, hey, I'm
Oh,
gonna tell
like
you,
you could pick them up in one store type of thing.
yeah, exactly. And everything you buy is going towards your LTV, your lifetime value. And listen, listen, if you want to buy $1 million worth of Tissot, I'll get you a Patek. It,
Average Gabagool, you see the bracelet that he has up right here? I hate these type of bracelets. But there are some bad bracelets. It depends on the way that the bracelet tapers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
True.
Rolex makes a great bracelet. I think that you get great bracelets from, on like the Nautilus and stuff like that. but there are some brands where like the bracelet can feel a little janky, you know? So I can't tell you specifically which brand makes the worst bracelet. I'll be honest, I can't.
I could tell you the worst bracelet to size, and it's Omega Constellation from the 90s, the smallest size. I've literally broken tools, broken spirits, and broken minds trying to size that watch. Let me
Oh
pull up this
God.
Yachtmaster 40 from a decade ago. OG
Julius agrees.
Yachtmaster.
The Glashütte original bracelets are top quality, but made with OEM leather is very nice as well. Bamal said thoughts on the yellow gold Yachtmaster. I think you just said that 40 millimeter from a decade ago. If we're talking about the, is it the OG Yachtmaster? As long as it's not the Yachtmaster 2, man. Oh my God, I hate that watch so much. I don't get it.
I don't understand it. I don't
Would
understand.
you like it? Oh, my bad. There's so many people who, like to time regattas. Like, it's such a weird function, in my opinion, humbly. Andy, I don't take, look, I think that the bracelet aesthetically is beautiful, but one, my hairy arms sometimes will get caught up in that, and then also sizing of those type of bracelets. Maybe not this Tissot specifically that was on the screen, but other bracelets of the same ilk have caused me great pain.
Which color dial, Vimal?
Ooh, ruby, 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 ruby.
Oh well, I mean, of course you got to do the ruby if you're gonna do it. Even the sapphire is just so fire. I love these watches. These watches will
Um,
never, ever,
I
ever
love the
go out of
ruby one.
style.
Real quick, for first Rolex Air King or Explorer, I think it's the Explorer personally.
It's always Explorer. In most scenarios, if the Explorer is in the lineup, one or two, two maybe,
No, one. I mean,
one.
you can't put a two with the Rolex Air King.
'Cause
Like they're more comparable if you're going by the one.
Exactly. So I love the Air King, and I own an Air King Precision, but I love the Air King, but it, it just doesn't hit the way you want it to hit. That like a Explorer, just as simple as the Explorer does, it's like Clint Eastwood, man. It just telling you a story, man. It's just drinking a black cup of coffee and just something about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Now,
just a loopy guy.
now
It's Friday. I'm
is it
tired.
Gran Torino Clint Eastwood, or are we talking about like retro Clint Eastwood when he still had his wits about him?
No, Gran Torino. So it's like he's a little off, but like he's there, you know. And once in a while, he tells you a joke that's like, "Grandpa, you're not supposed to really say those jokes anymore." But most of the time, it's just a nice, quiet conversation, and you guys are just enjoying each
Vimal,
other's
I
side.
think the Blue Dial Yachtmaster is the better one, personally. If you're saying between white and blue, I like the
Yeah,
Blue Dial more. What about you, CQ?
I would say you go blue dial. If it's white or blue, you go blue. Blue just gives you really nice depth, and it's a really nice hue of blue. It's a really nice reflection.
Hmm.
The white isn't bad, but I just it's lacking a little bit in my opinion. But like if I wouldn't be I would wear the hell out of white as well, you know, especially I don't know, man, because the one thing I love about the white dial, they have that black lume, so it does give a really nice. I go blue, but white is very very
The white
close,
is nice too, but I think the blue wins this one.
you know.
Avid Gul asked Explorer or Milgauss, and I would raise you that if you don't work in a magnetic situation, then you're purely going for the Milgauss for like either the green crystal or the aesthetic that the Milgauss has. I still would go Explorer personally, because I'm not a big fan of like the Milgauss stylistically, personally. What about you, CQ?
I think that's tough. I think it's which Milgauss, right? Because I love a good Z blue. I even love a good white dial Milgauss.
I just never think of the Milgauss when I think of Rolex. I think of an Explorer before I think of a Milgauss. Like Milgauss is the last thing on my mind when I think of Rolex. I even think of Cellini before I think of Milgauss. But I don't knock anybody for loving
But
it.
but, but see, there's something to me like speaking about white dials, Vimal. I like a white dial clear crystal Milgauss. So if you told me this versus the Explorer, I'm saying this.
But that's not even the best Milgauss.
Is it better? It's such a subjective thing. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
of
not.
course, of course, of course, of course, of course, of
It's
course, of
because it's
course.
not. The Z blue is the king. The Z Blue is the king. Black Green Crystal is the OG. So these are watches that will always like peak out. But again, for 88,950, you could probably get this 8 grand, maybe under on a wire. A unique watch. Not everybody's gonna have it. A colorway that isn't really
But
available
that
in
is the
other
biggest
Rolex
thing,
pieces.
is the
You
color,
know?
for sure. Like I think that that's what draws people to the Milgauss is the colorway that you get, whether it's the crystal or it's the white dial with the orange indices like this. I definitely think that that's the thing that sets it apart. Whereas the Explorer, especially when you're not dealing with the white dial Explorer, you could pass off an Explorer as like a GMT sometimes. Clearly the bezel doesn't move, but very similar aesthetics.
Well, it depends if he's talking Explorer 1 or Explorer
I
2.
think he's talking about Explorer One because they would be closer in
Yeah,
feel and
exactly.
look, in my opinion. Um, the Tudor Black Plate 54 Lagoon. Yes, we actually looked at that one yesterday, didn't we? CQ, the Black Plate Lagoon with the blue
Yeah,
dial.
we could bring it back up with that with the high polished bezel. We
Yeah,
could
bring
bring
that
that
one
one
up.
up.
Average Gabagool said he's fascinated with electronic cars, so that's why the magnetic stuff really interests him. So that makes sense. And he liked the black dial Explorer One. Thomas Bernett said there are some very nice vintage Air Kings with different colored dials and plain batons. Only thing is they're mainly So that's the biggest issue I have with Air Kings. It's like if you want to get a good Air King, it's gonna be made for a child. Like 34 millimeters.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be able to pull that off. And I have a small wrist. Like my wrist isn't that big. So it's like it has to be at least 37 or 36. I can do 36.
I think I'd even buy a vintage Explorer, man. Something about him.
No, the Explorer ones are very nice, dude. I like the 39s.
All right, which one were we gonna pull up?
The Blue Lagoon, the 54 Lagoon
Oh
Blue,
yeah.
sorry.
Let's see if we
Tudor
got
Black.
some live pictures. Let's see if our friends at Monochrome have some live pictures. Do you think this will go over retail, chat?
It probably will, just given the color.
Oh no, if this goes over retail, you guys need to like.
I mean, the pink one did. I'm confused. Why
Yeah, but that the
you
pink.
hated on that pink Blancpain so much, and it's like, so if the pink Tudor went over, why wouldn't the blue Tudor go over?
Because the Pink Tudor, they kind of cloaked it, right? They were like, "Oh, it's an Inter Miami special edition. You're only gonna get it if you know." And then Messi was coming, so it was all like it was Messi mania, man. In Miami,
Okay,
we're all
okay,
Messi.
okay.
So
I get your point.
it was supposed to be, it's all about Messi and all about these things, and then like I remember even like trying to source one, and somebody was like, "Hey, bro, they're only gonna make 30 of these watches. They're mainly gonna go to team people and ownership and things like that." So there was a rumor that was started by who knows who that just said these are gonna be super super exclusive. That's why they started out in the 20,000s. Then they just floated down because people all over the world were being offering these watches. Then you had the flamingo blue come out, and like it was like people like, what's going on. They're just releases, just normal releases. People for some reason love to overpay for gettable watches, and that's what happened.
Exclusivity, man. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
and okay, they're not super gettable, but they're not unobtainium. They're true 5711. You truly can't get that. Tudor Black It Pink, if you ask around enough, guys in Atlanta were getting them. You know what I mean? Like, who aren't $1 million spend guys.
Nowhere near the same. Um,
I
Thomas
like this
Burnett said
watch.
the 1016 Explorer is killer. The Ghost of Yiddish Gambino had a question for you. CQ, I accidentally won a 5960R at the Christie's auction this week. What am I realistically going to get this thing sold for? Full set 2010 rose gold appointment. So full set 2010 rose gold appointment 5960R. What do you think he'll be able to get out of that watch? Obviously, no gun to your head. You're not going to be held to this price for 5 days.
So it depends. It depends the dial, and I think the dial he got was not my favorite dial, which is the black
Which
dial.
dial did you get? Oh yeah, because you can look it up, right?
Yeah,
Since it was an auction.
fortunately or unfortunately, I've watched all the auctions all the way through. So and I love the 5960R. Let me think on that. Yiddish. We gotta go to Chrono 24 and really think on that.
Average Gabagool said that he can't see himself wearing the 1016 Explorer. I don't know what that one looks like. I gotta look that one up.
So that's that vintage one. This one.
Oh, the one that you had up?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, listen, it's not for everybody, but like it just I like vintage, right? So certain vintage, and watches like this where like nobody's gonna jump out of the corner and be like this thing's made out of plastic or whatever. But I think it's clean, it's classy, it's of an era, and I think if you get a good condition one and you're not paying like 30, 40, 50,000 for
I
it,
mean,
you
15K
know,
for a stainless steel watch. I get it. I get that it's vintage from the 60s, but I'm just out at that price. I get it. I'm just out.
yeah, yeah.
Average Gabagool feels it's a little too Timexy, which I can see it.
Yeah, but I mean, at that in that time period, they all were Timex. They all looked. I mean,
But just like you wear your PRX and get plenty of compliments, you know.
true, true that. What's our verdict
Um,
on this?
I told you it was decent. I think it'll sell for retail. The thing comes down to like they made a high polished bezel for a watch that's going to see sand, so it made no sense to me.
Yeah, I think let me just put up the Houdinki pictures real quick because I think they had those live shots or somebody did.
And then
But that's the one thing.
Yiddish Ambino did confirm he had the champagne beige dial.
So maybe we look at that.
5960R.
So good watches. Don't mistakenly buy stuff at auction, sir.
Bro was
Please.
just hitting bid, man. He was just like, man,
Well, I think
no way this falls to me.
I think a lot of people get in that situation, and in these auctions also there were a lot of great watches at that 5960 where, you jump in. But I think also with the currencies of this, the that, who knows what the end premium is, and sometimes you just like you jump in something and it's a great deal, and then like after you sober up, you're just like, I don't think I really want this.
Well, Milk said that the main problem with this watch is it says Tudor on it. I don't know if, like, if this said Rolex, would it really change our minds? It's still, it would look
Well,
too kitschy, especially
yeah,
since it's like it wouldn't be because this they already make like the Air King. I'm not, ugh, sorry, they already make the Oyster Perpetual with like this similar Tiffany dial. So if they made this on a diver watch, that would be terrible in my opinion. It's Rolex. They
yeah,
would
yeah.
look at them sideways.
It's a cool watch. I wouldn't pay crazy for it. The bezel will get scratched and nobody's talking about it. I'll just leave that. I'll leave that there. Let's really quickly look at a 5960. Oh, my camera went out.
Mm.
So he got this beautiful one.
Oh,
I'd really have to check and like give a real answer
Average
to you.
Gabagool did say, "Have you ever bought a watch and then sold it before even opening the box? Not for flipping, but just changed your mind."
No, no, me personally. So for like I said before, when I finally do buy it, I love it. I love it. I don't buy something I'm not head over heels with. So for me, I really don't have buyer's remorse. Be honest, being a cheapskate and not liking to spend money. So I go through all the exercises in my head. I make sure it's something that I'm gonna want, I'm gonna enjoy. But that being said, how do I say this? In today's day and age where the sense of urgency is being superficially applied to consumers in the watch space, I do not blame anybody for buying something at an auction, at a release party, in a community where you've been offered something, and feeling the need to pull the trigger then and there, and then before you get it, it takes 9 months to get these watches half the time, right? And by the time you get it, you want to change your mind. So I don't blame anybody, and sometimes it happens. It's just part of life, especially in this day and age where everybody's like, you gotta buy it in the time window. 7 years ago, there's no, hey, you need to jump in to buy the watch in a time window. It was, hey, I'm a brand. I would like to sell you watches. Please support me. I'm going to do an event in your city. I'm going to be at Watches and Wonders. I'm going to advertise for you. Even if they were in a situation where, like, hey, we're going to produce some now, and the more orders we get, we'll produce some later. When I started in the game, there was never a, hey, you got to buy within this time window. We got 2 time windows. What is that? What is that? I don't know. You know, not to blame anybody, but to me, a lot of things leaked in again from fashion, right? A lot of things leaked in from sneaker culture and fashion streetwear culture, and it got itself into watches, and then You end up in that situation where I know people who've paid well over $10,000 for a watch they weren't fully in love with, and then need to like exit that piece. So love it if you're gonna buy it.
Welcome to Raj. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's up to Raj? Raj is up late. Um, Let me do some research for you, Yiddish. I want to get a real answer for you, but I think it's a good watch, and I need to really know what you paid with everything in. I think it's a movable watch. You might take a little bit of a pinch. I don't think you paid crazy, but it's a movable watch. I think you'll do okay. I love 5960s, man. I just wanted to stare at the watch. All right, what else do we got going here? Let's keep watch shopping, but let's get off of Reddit. Let's go over to the Keystone and see what kind of fun goodies they have over here.
Average Gabagool did ask if you think that a PRX would be good enough for a one watch person. I'm guessing he's saying if you just own one
Yes.
watch. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So for me, if you have a one watch collection, this seems to be the watches you could take with you and wear in every situation. Something that you could attach great emotions with, something that's not going to be destroyed or you need to service every 6 months or something. And something that looks good. And as somebody who uses a PRX, not as a one watch collection, but it's often the watch that I'm wearing, I could tell you it easily, is a beautiful one watch collection, even though it's an inexpensive watch and I sell very, very expensive watches and I go to all these gatherings with major watches, still people are talking to me about the PRX. And that's what I love about watches. A good watch is a good watch. If somebody comes to you and talks smack about your PRX, give them my phone number and I'll have a conversation with them. Because that's what we don't need in the industry. If the watch looks good to you, if you look at it, it smiles. I don't care if it's a Timex. I don't care if it's a Nixon Time Teller P for $70. It's a great watch.
Well said.
That's my speech of the day. Oh man, Keystone doesn't have anything too sexy for us, huh? All right, no more Keystone. Let's go to 1916. Ooh, what I love is APs are coming back to reality. And like this is a decent watch. Yellow gold dual time royal oak. How big you think this is? 36? Would you wear this, yeah or nay?
No. No, I would not wear this. I mean, yes. I don't like yellow gold. I don't like yellow
All
gold.
right, say that, say that. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, this here's a 54. I think that's a little too high. 5396 G at 31450. On the brace is still high though. Man, Moser Pre-owned still some of the best deals. You know what I mean?
Damn, home milk. I'm sorry that you had that experience.
What do you say?
He felt that
Oh,
he didn't have a good experience with.
yeah. The sales associates are at 1960 are jerks. Yeah, man. I love the company. We were there for a very, very long time, but was there when it was different, many different names. So unfortunately,
Oh, he was just joking.
oh gosh. I'm just saying, like, I can't, defend or I know a lot of great people over there, but
Nah, yeah,
I,
everybody there has
you
been
can't
pretty
defend
good.
every, it's like, oh,
Nah,
I, I'm out here stumping and some random person I don't even know. It's like this dude. And I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know this guy. So like, yeah, I'm not stumping.
what's going on, Tim? Right? He says Moser and Breguet is great value on the gray market. That's true. Very true. Very,
Insane
very
value.
true.
Insane value. I think Moser right now has come to a really, really good place where you can buy them, trade out of them, not lose too much, especially on the secondary market. Streamliners are back to normal, even the purple ones. So I think it's a really good place. And Breguet, if you really like traditional watchmaking and you're not dipping your toes into Breguet, I think you're doing it the wrong way. You're doing it
Missing
the
out,
wrong way.
huh?
Oh, this is what I was looking for.
God.
Look at this. BR01 Cyber Skull. It's just when I see watches like this,
This watch probably came up with like 18 other watches towards a Patek Philippe that we had for like 2 years that they wanted to move. Because that's the only way I could see us being convinced in taking this. Like, that watch is not gonna sell for anywhere near $9,000, dude. That is a $6,500. Said it.
what do you think they bought this for? You're right. They bought this in a package.
And it's a bronze watch too. Oh,
Your favorite.
bronze watches are like I almost said something that would have got us canceled. Bronze
Yeah.
watches are not good. Okay. And like they just come off as like they're gold, but then they're not. And then people think they're gonna have this look when they look at these pictures and then they get it. And it's like, this doesn't look like anything in the pictures.
You got to crack an egg on it. You gotta
Oh God, bro. Hey.
the Raj likes this 5172G. Said is it's a dream, love it. Fallen knife can't find trigger price. Correct. In every statement. One, this watch is a dream. Amazing chronograph from Patek Philippe. And just nice dial. You got the syringe style hands. But what I love is the case design on the lugs. You got these little nice steps here. There's a really beautiful designed watch. Really great movement back there, deployment class. But in terms of price, it's a fallen knife. This is something that you would think would stay pretty high, right? And it's slowly, they used to be in the 60s all day. They have it for 57,950, meaning you could get this in 55 on a wire. I don't think they'll say no to, right?
Tim Wright did say that the Bell and Ross looks like a budget RM skeleton. I could agree with that.
Pretty much. Without the Miami appeal, as you like to say. I don't think
Bron,
that gets you laid.
he said that bronze has to be one-way collection because patina looks good when bronze watch is worn a lot, but when it sits in a box, it develops a nasty patina. Good point.
Yeah, you have to really know what you're doing. And a lot of people don't when it
I,
comes to
I said one
bronze.
way. I knew you meant one watch. I'm sorry, Tim.
We have reading issues over here. So
Oh,
look,
dude.
5172G. I mean, that's salmon. I'm sorry. Like I know we're here to talk about the blue, but like look at the price even on the salmons.
So what makes this watch a screaming buy to you? Well, it's not a screaming buy because it's a falling knife, but what? I know you said
So,
that the movement looks great and everything,
so
but
if you're a chronograph person,
Mhm.
it's a really good looking chronograph from Patek Philippe. That is like, cause so the whole knock on Patek, right, is like, a lot of the watches are a little bit older looking, is old guys watch, blah blah blah. So when you get watches like this, you can see the youth in it, even though it's vintage style. You can see the wearability, you can see the versatility, even just in this format from Patek. It's not on a glossy gator strap. It's on this suede leather, beautiful color that's nice and subdued. This is something that somebody could have in a 1 or 2 watch collection and really enjoy the heck out of
so
that
it
timepiece.
looks really really nice, but I feel like I can get this same watch from Longa for cheaper. Now tell me I'm wrong and tell me I'm I'm crazy.
You ain't crazy. It's just
It goes
what you
down to
appreciate
preference, right?
more.
Like if
Yeah.
you really want a Swiss watch and you love Patek Philippe, but I just feel like I've seen this watch done better by Longa, but not exactly the same, clearly. Not
Exactly. Not exactly the
but like
same.
very similar, like double sub dial chronograph, maybe not blue dial, but like I just feel like you're paying a premium just because it says Patek Philippe, which is the case for most Pateks.
It's exactly, and it's the only brand. Oh wow. Just guess the retail on this. I wanted to confirm, but
It's probably like 80 something, isn't it?
92 366.
Not worth it.
No.
Okay, it is a lag 1815 chrono. I guess for me, like I'm not so Sequan came from like he used to sell these watches at retail and he has a true love for Patek Philippe. And then of course we worked at a place that had was an AD for Patek. But just I just never sipped the Kool-Aid. I understand that it deserves to be where it's at, but I just don't look at it and I'm like, oh well because it's Patek, like we have to just say it's the best. Like
It's hard to explain, right? But like, how do I explain it?
you're the true steward. Remember, I'm retired for a reason.
So when I started, I started in the game in 2011, end of 2010, 2011.
I kind of like this like 1850, even though it's not
I
blue.
do as well, but this is the one the black dollar or
I like the black dial. I don't like white dials.
okay, so no white dollar. But let me go back to the story. So I started in the industry in 2011, and back then, Patek was really that one brand that stood out amongst others. In 2011, AP was being discounted, Fashion was being discounted. Patek was the only, and I'm in the Caribbean, right? So we're duty free, so discount land. Patek was the one brand where I could give you literally point. We don't normally discount, but I could literally give you 1% off, and people would come behind the counter and hug you. Their pricing made no sense because it was just their own little world. They truly built the romance. You know, you'd hear stories of like if you sold Patek and if your tie was crooked and they heard the management would get called and take you off. They just from like the first time I was even allowed to sell Patek, I felt like I graduated from college. It was like that. You know what I mean? Just being allowed to present it. That's how much the people in that establishment respected the brand, and that was just a different day and age. So I think I came in at the tail end of that. So for me, it's hard for any brand to ever beat Patek because I've never seen people until FP Journe. I've never seen people react to ownership of a watch to such minimal discounting to like I've never seen the emotions overcome people crying when they're purchasing watches, old couples like, honey, I'm so happy I just never seen it until Patek. And after Patek, only Patek I've seen that thing. So for me and for others, there's just a romance that's attached to it. But when we start talking about pound for pound watchmaking, finishing, all that stuff, the world is you have to be honest. And brands like Lang& Söhne and other brands can excel. Patek can do it if they want to, but on a day-to-day, piece by
But
piece
they
basis,
need to. It goes back to like they of course are going to continue to do research and development and make great things. But it's like it goes back to like Longa has to do these things in order for them to compete with brands like Patek, you know. And so that's why they probably have. I don't know if they have a better finishing. Maybe their movement finishing is a little bit better. Or is it the same? Would you say?
with longer, they're
Yeah,
better.
they're
Pound,
better,
pound for
right?
pound, because if you do 5172 versus this, the movements finishing is gonna look good. But if you do like a 6119, you know it's different levels.
What's going on, Crab Vision? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, trap.
Gabagool is asking what's the appeal of Paddock, and it just goes back to like the story that CQ was saying just now, where essentially it's a long heritage. I think you've said before that it was owned by the same family, and then the Stearns took over, but it was like a handoff, so it's kind of still within the family. And then the identity. I think that's the one thing I give Paddock is that their identity has remained the same. Like you can see from the past to the present how they haven't changed drastically, and they've kept, an image, and it still looks good to this day.
Yeah. Continuity is a big part of the Patek Philippe story. A lot of the brands that we see today, Elan and Sony included, while their history spans a long time, right? They're the history in textbooks. In reality, this is a 25-year-old company. 1999 is when this was re-envisioned, right? When the you know, my brain's blanking, but the Berlin Wall, all these things, Cold War, all that stuff. When the Berlin Wall fell is when Walter Long was able to, really get this back going. Technically, if you talk to Tim Masso, the original Elan and Sone became Gashuta Original. And you
Yeah.
go over to his channel, ask him. He tells a great story of how, if you really want to talk about the real Lang and Sone and what happened, it became controlled by the government and eventually, through all these things, turned into Lang and Sone. Many, many companies are out there like that. Patek Philippe is one of the few companies where, while it hasn't been controlled by the same family, it has been held by private hands since the beginning, and it passed from the Philippe, the Patek and Philippe families to the Stern families. Henry Stern in New York was one of the biggest importers of their watches, and that Stern family has treated the brand like their own, right? And it really held the values that made that brand important and kept it propped up. And really, in terms of like important complications, the first annual calendar was made by Patek Philippe in 1996. Perpetual calendar chronographs, even bringing back perpetual calendars in the 90s when people stopped making perpetual calendars. Terry Stern's father really pushed to make that happen. So today we don't talk about these things, but for many, many reasons, and that's a different podcast, Patek is a very important historical brand 100 years ago, but also 10, 15, 20 years ago and today. So, and it's been able to touch generations of collectors, and families have been able to collect Patek. So the same way that Rolex have ingrained itself into like, hey, when you feel successful, no matter who you are, you want to get that Rolex on your wrist. If you're of a certain taste level, old money, that sort of thing, Patek Philippe is in the same nomenclature. Like, you get the Patek when you reach a certain level. So it's just a whole different world. And it's privately owned. A. Lang & Son, I love it. It's Richemont Group. That's why, everybody loved Lang & Son 4 years ago. They got popular with the Odysseus and everything else, and just everything start to scream. Then they play the games, and now people are like, oh, I don't like him so much.
Rolex
Patek
is a
always played the
non-profit, so
game.
I don't get what you mean by like private owned, whatever. It's like it doesn't.
Well, but again, the Rolex makes commercially produced goods. They never, this business found them. Patek,
I get it. They fell into their
different thing.
success in a sense. Palav has a great question. He said, "Which one would you recommend? Patek Philippe Calatrava or annual calendar? He's buying one for his father. Um, what are your thoughts?"
I think a good Calatrava, like I honestly like a 6119G or R. I think the 6119s are well, but I like the older. There's so many great Calatravas. Like I think Julius Caesar said, or Holmilk said, if your dad isn't a watch guy, don't get an annual calendar. He will almost certainly break it. I would say that as well. If he's not a watch guy, go for a nice Calatrava. Whether it's a 6119 or one of the many, many variations, you could probably even do a 5196 for not too much. You could get him a nice, classic, time-only piece that doesn't break the bank. One, he won't break it. Two, he'll love it forever, and you can you can pass it down really, really easy. My suggestion would always be a 5196P with the brigade numerals, because it's just a handsome watch, if I can say that. I don't know if I'm allowed, but it's just a really good looking watch. Diraj says, A. Lang & Son movements leave Patek Philippe in the dirt. The case, however, hockey puck. This is true. They're thickies over there. No matter what, they do use the real estate very well, but they are thick, thick boys. Pac Eldridge says, still, it's a fine line between clever compromise and falling down the luxury rabbit hole. Very, very true. Very, very true. And it's hard. And many brands try to find it. The reason why I like Patek, I just seen them. People been able to collect them for decades and decades, and like I never hear a big negative experience beyond like maybe some flipping things, and I got blackballed for that. Where pretty much every other brand, the experience fails. There's always a bad experience. With Patek, there's a lot of bad experience now because people want sports watches. But if you're collecting in 2010 and before that, or even like 2015 and before, even 2017, 2018, only good experience you were hearing. Of course, it's a lot of money, but gotta pay the cost to play the boss, they say. But you would do the 1815 over the 5172?
Yes.
All right, okay. I wouldn't.
I mean, we started the conversation about that particular Patek as a falling knife. So if I'm buying a falling knife, I'll buy the falling knife that I want.
This is true. All right, let's see. Let's do maybe 10 more minutes. We are getting a little bit late today. Let's see if there's anything good on Watch Recon. I'll see if Jay wants to buy a watch today.
I want a summer watch today.
Right? Vacheron 56, rose gold. Those never got the love. Good Panerais. Big Bruce. 32.5. Oh man, look at these OG Panerais still going for crazy money. Pre-Vendome.
What's Vendome mean? I always remember seeing that always, and I just always meant to ask.
So Vendome Group was a group that held a few brands before Richemont took over.
Mm,
So which included Panerai. So Vendome bought Panerai and then Richemont bought Vendome. So when you see
yes.
these, any Panerai that doesn't have a PAM number, that has one of these elongated numbers like this, 5218-201A, these are pre-Vendome. So these are the earliest iterations of Panerai you could buy, and
Did
they're
Sylvester
worth money.
Stallone have one of these, or did he already did he get the PAMs?
No, I think I think when he did it, it was like the crossover. It was still Vendome, but like he did the movie, and then right after the movie, it switched over, and then Planet Hollywood, and then, you know, how Periscope has a different story. So I want to stop. I want to
Yeah,
stop
you
saying.
you want to get featured? You want to get featured in an
Yeah,
article
because
in CQ
like
for all the wrong reasons?
as I'm saying it, it's like, no, I think Periscope did an article where it was all made up. So it's like, I don't know. I've drunk so much Kool-Aid. As you can see, I enjoy the Kool-Aid. So like it takes a while. This meteorite dial, full set, under 10,000,
That's nice. I like sales stuff.
9,500. That's a good deal. This is a good deal. This is like, if this was Patek, this would be a $40,000-$50,000 watch.
Does Patek do a lot of stone dials, or do they even do? I don't even know if I've seen a stone.
Only in the like the high, uh, the rare handcraft series. They
But
don't
like they
do.
wouldn't do a Calatrava with this dial.
I think if they did, it would break the internet. To be honest with you, I don't think the world is ready for something like that.
Henry Stern, CQ is calling you. He's asking. No? Is it Terry Henry? Who? What is his name?
Terry's the current.
Wait, who's Henry? I don't know why I'm getting Henry.
Because Henry Stern Agency is the name of the company, and then there was a Henry. I think it's Henry, then Philippe, then Terry today.
So like, if Terry
You gotta get your Sterns
leaves,
right.
who takes over?
So he has two children, two sons, I believe, who are lined up. And I was saying that they might not do it, but SE corrected me in that they're prepared to take over
That's the
the
plan.
business.
That's the plan. They got a
As a
succession
plan.
plan. Gotcha. Yiddish Gambino says vintage Patek had a lot of stone dials. I have one that's mother of pearl and onyx. Henri is the granddad. Damn, I went all the way back. I went super far
Yeah,
back. I didn't know Henri. I wasn't alive when Henri was out here.
exactly. But Henri was selling to like the Hewlett Packards of the world, the Rockefellers. They that's the other part of Patek that people don't realize is like old school wealth was deep in Patek Philippe. So it all translates. It all makes sense when you put it all in that historical perspective and the fact that the brand has kept things going.
So
Like you
you're
understand
saying
why,
we've been keeping up with the Joneses for hundreds of years. That's all I'm
and
hearing.
and we will for another 100, sir. We will for another 100. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wind it down. It is a little bit late. It's been an amazing Friday. You guys are just like, you guys are the best. When we said we're gonna start going live every day, it's like, we're gonna do it no matter what. But when you go live and nobody's watching you, as we've done that in a different format, it's not so fun. So you guys come in, you make it really really easy to do this every day and even on the weekends when we have things to cover. So I want to thank you guys so much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, upvote, and maybe we'll take one more question of the day if anybody has one. The best deal in these IWC perpetuals is a Portugueser in precious metal. Ooh, take a look at it. I think he's correct, actually. IWC Neo Vintage, you could steal them at 02119.
I agree.
And that
That
was
was
his
a
nice
nice
name.
Ming. I like Asian watches. Wait, is Ming Asian?
He is Asian.
But is it made in Switzerland?
Uh, uh, don't do that.
I wasn't trying to catch you off guard.
No,
I
no,
felt
no,
like there was
no,
one
no.
brand that's made in Switzerland, but it's by an Asian watchmaker.
They do Swiss part. I think it's made in Switzerland. I don't know, man. It's
All right.
assembled somewhere. It gets. Man, let me just. Is there Swiss made on the dial?
502119 is what Yiddish Gambino said.
There we go. God bless you. Oh yes, 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 yes. And look, it's like, I hate that these tariffs are in place because one of my biggest like selling points to people were to look in like the Hong Kong, Japanese markets to get really good deals on like Breitlings and modern watches, Panerai and stuff like that. Cause look, man, 6147. Of course, you were gonna pay sub before, but now you gotta pay the other 10%. But let's look in the U.S. for 17. Is this a real dealer? This is Delray Watch Supply. Hit up Federico. Tell him 15.5 on the wire. CQ sent you. This is an amazing, amazing watch. It will look good on you. Will have a complicated watch that you cannot break for the most part. Just don't go too far because if you take this to 2026, you got to pay for the full service to get it readjusted for you. But I agree, these are priced stupidly right now for what you're getting. And
You get a good, so you get a lot of watch for a good price. I agree. I forgot who pointed it out, but like the cutting off of the indices will never be cool for me now. But beyond that,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's well, this one they don't cut them out. They're just a 12, but everything else they
what?
tuck in. Just a 12.
It's still cut. Like they'll,
The
it's
10 is the 10's not. It seems like,
okay. I guess you're right.
hey, that's a lot of information to only cut off the 12. That's a lot of information to give you. That's all I'm saying.
For 15K ish, these Portugueses in rose gold and had huge deployments are just amazing. And only 49.9 lug to lug, so very wearable, even though it's 44.2 millimeters wide. It's a nice watch.
I think again, the whole Portuguese family. You can find like some
This
awesome
guy's been
watches.
listing this watch since 2022, so I don't know. I don't know if
And
it's a good sign about the sale of
hey,
these
it's Chrono
pieces.
24, man. It's revamped. Um, 3 grand for a Portuguese chrono out of Japan. 34, like it's Father's Day this weekend, graduation season. 3,500 bucks. That's a good looking watch. That's a good looking watch. Give it to your kid. Let them beat them up if they break it. Who cares? You know what I mean, I care. I whoop their ass, but still, you know, deep in my head, I'm not caring that much. But you got to just put the belt on them, just let them know how we value things out here. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. It has been an amazing, amazing week of shows. Thank you, Tired Guy Jay, for staying with us, being the best co-pilot of the week. And we will be back Monday. Like, comment, subscribe, upvote. Please do me a favor, leave comments. If there's a particular topic you want to talk about, leave a comment or put it in the chat. Palau says, how about complications between 30 to 40K? I think that's a good one for Monday because I think we could do really another 3 hours
But
just
he's
on
not going to
just
be able
on
to
that.
buy it for his dad for Father's Day if you do it Monday. Give him one. Give him
We'll give him
one.
one.
Give him just one
Okay,
fast
wait,
from
let
the
me.
hip. Thank you so much, Thomas. I hope you have a great weekend as
It,
well.
it would be a Moser, bro. It would be a Moser perpetual calendar. Like, I know you're gonna say I'm a Moser head, but like,
The one where there's no calendar and you got to tell by looking at the black dial with the 15 different. I fucking hate those things so much. And I like Moser, but that is a fucking stupid watch. Sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. It's Friday.
so if you want something more traditionally styled, you get him one of the OG Moser, like this silver dial, rose gold, unbreakable perpetual calendar, very easy for him to read, really well done movement. 21,940. You could probably get if you hit them at 20,000 on the wire, they'll think about it.
It just doesn't look like a perpetual calendar. That's why I just don't like it.
It doesn't. Now, if you want to be a little bit more funky, you could get like a concept dial or something like this, but then the price kind of jumps up.
Happy Father's Day, whole milk.
Yeah. But I say Moser Perpetual. Just off the top of my head, Moser Perpetual or IWC Complicated Watch is a good way to go. But we're gonna actually take that. We're gonna redo that on Monday though. 'Cause I think That's actually a great topic. So thank you for that. DM me if you really need advice and you can't think of something. Shoot me a DM, cqthewatchguy.com, where you can get truly independent watch advice. And yeah. I'm trying to think. Too many great complications come to mind. But anyways, thank you guys. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there as well. You guys are amazing. I will see you again. Wait, let me give the cougar wink. What am I doing? It's not, I just don't feel right if I end the stream without. I just feel like there might be like a rich cougar who watches the show, and like she feels like. She feels like I didn't service her if I didn't give her that wink. So there's a cougar wink for everybody. Make sure you go to cqthewatchguy.com for any independent watch needs. But do me a big favor. Have an amazing weekend. If you have kids, hug your kids. If you have family, hug your family. I'm giving you a big virtual hug. We love you. You guys are the best. And any words for the people, Jay?
Don't do anything I wouldn't do this weekend, meaning you can pretty much do anything. Have a great one.
There you go. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.